So the DOJ is currently investigating after anti-ICE activists stormed a church.
So this is the big meta in Murderapolis today. Conservatives are looking for something to grab onto so they could shift the attention away from, ICE being a fucking threatening Gestapo force on U.S. soil with a Insurrection Act imminent, or at least the threat of the Insurrection Act. So they decided that this is going to be the new thing. They're subbing out the chip for this thing, okay? Apparently, from what I understand, there were anti-ICE protesters protesting a pastor that is an ICE official, which, by the way, I don't even understand how that works. How the fuck can you be a pastor and also work for ICE at the same time? How is that even possible? But anyway, yeah, they did a protest inside of a church, and every conservative is like, this is a violation of the FACE Act. Don Lemon, you're going to hell and prison. Before you go to hell, you're going to prison. So, Leviticus 19:33, Leviticus 14:88. No hate like Christian love. That's why. Anyway, let's take a look.
St. Paul over a pastor's alleged ties to ICE, so they thought he had ties to ICE.
Now, this comes as 1,500 soldiers are now on standby, ready to deploy amid growing protest in the state.
Just so uncalled for, the church incident. Matt Finn is live in Minneapolis with the latest. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Ainsley. Those protesters walked into that church service, started screaming chants for Renee Good, who is the woman who was shot by ICE earlier this month, getting into churchgoers' faces, all because they say one of the pastors works for ICE.
You are a fake pastor. You are a fake Christian. Ridiculous, dude. Stand up, fight back.
The demonstration organizer told Don Lemon, a former news anchor who was following the protesters, that it was a clandestine operation meant to disrupt a, quote, key location. One video appears to show a protester inside the church calling the churchgoers comfortable white people and shouting, "You have your nice jewelry. What do you do to stand with your Somali community?" Now, so far, we have not seen Minnesota Governor Tim Walz or Minneapolis Mayor.
Okay, so here is what they were doing. A pastor here is also the director of the field office for ICE. So someone teaching people about God is out here overseeing ICE agents. How dare you? Murderapolis goes hard, dude.
David Easterwood is a pastor here. He is also the director of the field office for ICE in St. Paul. So someone who claims to worship God, teaching people in this church about God, is out there overseeing ICE agents. Think about what we've experienced. The murder of Renee Good at the hands of ICE. A Venezuelan national shot by ICE. A 6-month-old baby who almost died as a result of ICE unleashing military-grade weapons on our community. How dare you claim to be a pastor of God and you are involved in evil in our community?
Do you think Jesus would be understanding?
We're about worship.
These folks.
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them?
No, church had gathered for worship, which we do every Sunday, and we were interrupted by this group of protesters. Yeah. We asked them to leave, and they obviously have not left.
Bro, this guy's literally an onion meme. Conservatives say Renee Good was brainwashed by Bible into loving thy neighbor. Yeah, what do you mean? That's what he's preaching. This person responds, they sure don't look like money changers, you bellend. Also, by bellend, I assume this person is not even American. Yet another one of these things. Dude, this is my new meta, okay? I am I am seeking out like a fucking heat-seeking missile every single Euroid MAGA LARPer, okay? I swear to God, there are so many of them. There are so many. I think Americans are more mad, by and large, about ICE presence in their fucking neighborhoods than these goddamn Euroid MAGA LARPers, okay? I'm sorry. I don't care if this account says it's actually stationed in the United States of America. If you say Bell End, you're not American, okay? Their pastor is the regional director of ICE. Find a new church or admit you're not Christian. Well, they're not. They're not Christian. No American has ever said Bell End. No American. That's not a term we use.
Of entitlement. I think people who are, in.
So Don Lemon was there, by the way, my revolutionary goat, Don Lemon. And apparently, he's catching a lot of heat, including from Nicki Minaj. Conservatives are saying Don Lemon violated the FACE Act and he must go to prison.
So people have been asking me about responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged, homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff. Let me just say this.
What the fuck did that tweet say? Don cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. Barbs? Y'all seeing this, Barbs? Are there any Barbs at least? Are there any Barbs that remain? I feel like they're on life support. It's over, right? It's done. They pulled the plug, I suspect. One of my greatest locks of the century, by the way. Breaking. DOJ announced its intention to charge Don Lemon under the Ku Klux Klan Act. The KKK Act makes it illegal to threaten, hurt, or intimidate people to prevent them from exercising their God-given rights. Oh, this is Harmeet Dillon. She's the civil rights. She is the Department of Justice's civil rights assistant, attorney general or something. I forget, but she's on the civil rights division. Wonderful people in the Department of Justice, by the way.
Has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us. Who funded this? What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this? All of those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
I mean, I've just pulled up the Klan Act because this is the first time that I've heard this mentioned. This is
the Department of Justice's civil rights attorney is using the Klan Act against a black man on MLK Day.